In 2018, the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, CEFR, was updated through a series of changes, which served to modernize, clarify, and enrich the existing framework. These changes fall into 5 main categories. Previously, the CEFR was based around 3 key modes of communication: production, reception, and interaction. However, in 2018, mediation was added as a 4th mode of communication. Mediation has always been an important part of language proficiency, as it essentially recognizes the learner as a social agent in the language learning process. The descriptor scales for mediation fall into 3 categories: mediating communication, mediating concepts, and mediating a text. In some areas, new descriptor scales have been added, in keeping with contemporary research and education trends. These include abilities relevant to creative texts and literature, scales which concern online activity, scales for the categories using telecommunications and giving information. A variety of new descriptors for proficiency band pre-A1. And a complete redevelopment of the scale for phonology. Elsewhere, existing descriptor scales have been updated, adapted, and reinforced. These include the descriptor scales for plus levels A2+, B1+, and B2+, which have all been strengthened. General changes to the 2001 descriptors, such as the removal of the phrase native speaker in levels A1 to C1, and the adjustment of absolute statements at the C2 level of proficiency, and the adaptation of scales for plurilingual and pluricultural abilities, according to the Framework of Reference for Plurilinguistic Approaches. The changes also come in the form of advice and general information about the CEFR, for example, the recommendation that the relevant languages should be specified for certain scales, the assurance that all scales have been calibrated to the existing CEFR levels of proficiency, and the fact that the pro-sign symbol appears in sections where descriptor scales are adapted for sign languages. Finally, the 2018 CEFR also outlines plans for a parallel project with 2 new collations of descriptors for young learners in the age groups 7 to 10 and 11 to 15.